All right, guys, welcome back to Relegation Battle. We've got another European special this week, if you want to call it that. Let's go straight into it. Let's start on Tuesday, Ty. A good win for you guys away, or technically away to Atletico Madrid. Great goal from Giroud. What did you make of the performance?
Um, yeah, it was better than I was expecting, but it was good in it. Like, obviously, we kept Suarez and Joao Felix quiet, which was surprising. I thought Joao Felix, especially, would have caused us problems, but then again, he only just came back from COVID, so obviously that's going to take him a while to get back to scratch, and we've seen that with players this season already. Um, yeah, man, I think we did play well, but the only thing we could have scored more. Like if you actually look, like if we had that player, which I was saying in I think it was on Monday, I was saying like we need it's just that final pass I'm a bit worried about and how we're not clinical. Like we saw players like Jorginho trying to play the pass, Mount, Kovacic, Hudson-Odoi, like it just that final ball just weren't there, and obviously it took a moment of individual brilliance from Giroud. So it was good, but hopefully if we play obviously Ziyech, she's not in great form. I reckon it'll be him or Havertz because obviously Mount's um, suspended for the second leg. So hopefully one of them two can provide the final ball, and then who knows? But obviously we definitely need to get the first goal because it's only 1-0. So if they get the first goal, anything can happen really. But yeah, obviously it was a good win.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because now they do have to come out a bit more because they have to get a goal now. But
Yeah.
yeah, like I said, Mount suspended now, which is always a big miss for you guys. He's been really good for you guys recently. Then Jorginho as well. He's played a lot under Tuchel. He's suspended as well. So what do you expect? Do you expect Kante to come in or Gilmore?
Yeah. To be honest, this game, the second leg probably suit Kante because if they're gonna come out, then we're probably just going to stay on the counter attack, and that's where Kante is at his best, where he can just break it up and then play it to someone like a Kovacic or someone, and obviously they can just play it to one of the forward players and then see what happens. So, and obviously that could benefit us because if you look at a player like Werner, his pace on the counter attack, because where they're going to have to come out, obviously it could leave spaces in behind. So, you know, um, it should it should be all right, but obviously I don't trust players like Christensen to defend that well again. Do you know what I mean? It's just
Mm.
obviously I know they've been good under Tuchel, but I've watched some of these players for like 3-4 years and they haven't been this good. So I'm just waiting for one of them to slip up. That might be Sunday, that could be whenever, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, Jack, what do you think of Atletico Madrid's chances in the second leg? Do you think they can turn it around? We saw them do it against Liverpool last year, but they also won the first leg that year, so it's a bit more of a boost. But 1-0 down to his Chelsea team. Do you think they can come back from it?
Of course they can. It's only one goal, and um, because they're now going to go away to Chelsea. If they score one early, Chelsea are going to have to come out because then if Atletico get a second, Chelsea will have to get two more. So of course they still can. They've still got quality. Like Tori said, Joe Felix has just come back from COVID, so he's still recovering. However, you never know. Some players that might not take as long as other players. So next game he might bag a hat trick and then full of confidence for the Chelsea game.
Yeah.
But I think Mount's a big miss for Chelsea. He's been probably their best player this season. So that's going to be a massive test for Chelsea to see if they can how they handle. I mean, they'll probably maybe I don't know, but you all know better than me, Ty. But you might put in Havertz there instead of Werner. But
Yeah.
you never know.
I think
He could try and prove something there.
Yeah, I think we brought on Havertz for Mount the other day, so maybe that was a little test off because just to see what happens. And then when we made them changes, actually we started to get more spaces as well. But then obviously that was when they started to come out. So hopefully we can just get the job done in the second leg. But obviously on to Sunday because that's a big game as well.
Yeah, of course, between both of you guys. Before we go into that, Tom, Bayern beat Lazio 4-1. It was a bit disappointing because when we see Bayern play, we expect them to completely outplay teams. But in this one, it's Lazio, I think, made 3 mistakes for the Bayern goals. We
Yeah.
spoke a couple of weeks ago that Bayern were one of the strong teams along with City, PSG. Do you still back that Bayern can do it now? Because they are with 4 away goals, it's hard to see them be knocked out now.
Oh yeah, they won't get knocked out. If they're going to get knocked out, it's going to be in either the semis or finals. But I still think they win it. I think they're too strong. Probably the most confident playing team in the past 2 years. I mean, since Liverpool. I mean, last year I'd say they're more confident than maybe Liverpool, but Liverpool won't. That's the only team that I thought like pre-season that would challenge Bayern, but not now with all Liverpool's confidence going low, and their injuries obviously. So I expect them. I mean, I just don't see one team. Not even. I don't even see PSG posing a threat to Bayern. I really don't.
About City.
Honestly, no.
No.
For the Champions League, I just feel like they need that striker. Who it's going to be, I think Haaland. I like Haaland now. I know a lot of people like Jack don't like Haaland at Man City. He don't think he works, but I would like to see Haaland at City, to be honest. But nah, to be honest, I do think they'll win the Champions League. I just don't think anyone will pose a threat to them, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, watching the game, Lazio, apart from the actual goal they scored, most of the shots came like edge of the box. They couldn't really work it into Bayern's box properly. They just tried to test him Neuer from distance, which is always going to be difficult anyway, being him from there. But yeah, I think Bayern definitely lived up to what we were expecting. Then on the Wednesday, Chai, I know you watched the Atlanta Real Madrid game. First of all, do you think it was a red card?
I didn't see the record. I put it on at like I think I put it on like the 50th minute, and then I got bored, so I went over to Man City. But I watched. Well, I had it on. I had two screens, so I did watch like the second half, and it was dead. And then I saw Mendy's goal, which was pretty good. But I was mainly focused on the Man City game, so I didn't actually see the red card. I'll be honest.
Yeah, I don't know if either of you, Tom or Jack, saw the red card either. But yeah, Jack, what did you make of it?
It's a bit of a weird one because if he doesn't get fouled there, he's shooting. But then again, there's another player in the box. I think just where maybe the position of the player was, it would kind of made the decision for him. But I'm not sure who the defender was. If he would have been quick enough to get there. But if that was my team, that would have been on my argument. There was a player there. But then again, if that was my team on the attack, if he doesn't get tackled there, one more touch and he's got a free shot at goal, and it's very good range. So technically, it was just denying a goal scoring opportunity. So in theory, maybe you could say it was a red card, but then again, it's hard because you can say there was a covering defender. So I think either way, there would have been pros and cons for it.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's not even the defender for me. I think the goalkeeper was like rushing it as well, and like another touch, I reckon the goalkeeper could have got it. Because I know you can't really look at it this way, but it is Valère Mendy. He's not like a great dribbler of the ball. He's a defender at the end of the day. I reckon one more touch and the keeper was closing him down quite quickly as well. I think it's really hard straight red for them not even to like look at VAR properly. But despite that, they only lost 1-0. Ty, do you think they were missing that Benzema like figure at the top?
Yeah, probably. I mean, to be honest, like, Real Madrid haven't been that good this season anyway. But they probably were just missing him because you could, from when I was watching it, you could see. I can't remember who they had up front, but he wasn't really doing anything. They tried to bring on, I think they brought on Mariano during the game as well, but he didn't do anything really. So yeah, probably. I mean, if Hazard comes back and he's fit, which obviously we know hasn't been the case at Real Madrid, but he made his choice. If he comes back and is fit and firing, it's probably not going to happen. They could cause problems, but obviously, yeah, they're probably just missing Benzema, so he's been really good this season. So, yeah, probably.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was just a boring game. I think Madrid didn't take proper advantage of the Atlanta being down 10 men, but even I think they had problems on their team because Ilicic came on the second half substitute and got subbed off afterwards, just arguing with the manager the whole game, really. So not in a good place for them. Then I feel like Bayern's closest competitors are Man City right now. Comfortable 2-0 win over Mönchengladbach. First, I mean, João Cancelo, Tom, how good has he been this season? And, is he one of the best fullbacks in the world right now?
Yeah, I think he is. I would have loved us to have signed him, to be honest, when we got rid of Walker. He had a fantastic season with Juventus in his last year. So many assists. I think he's not the worst defensively, but that's just not his game. He's the cross of the ball that he's got. His attacking ability is so good, and I feel like in the first season City didn't use that as well. I don't know why they just kept moving him about left back, right back, sort of using him as this versatility player. I would have just kept him in right back, keep him there, keep him going. Takes a while for people to get used to the Prem, and I feel like he's done that now. But I definitely think he's one of the best fullbacks out there. I think he's very underrated, but I think people start to see that he can compete up there with the best. I think he's one of the best fullbacks when it comes to the crossing ability and making the pass, the final pass, to be honest. I know a lot of people talk about Trent, but I think they should talk about Cancelo as well. He's a very good player. And he's brought a lot to that team this year.
Yeah, and then so obviously Bernardo Silva scored the first goal, cross from Cancelo, then the second goal as well, Cancelo to Bernardo Silva, who then knocked it into Jesus. Tom, I'll stay with you because you always brought the striker point. Do you think Jesus, we saw it last season when they got knocked out by Lyon, it was De Bruyne, Sterling and Gabriel Jesus at the top. And it just wasn't, De Bruyne was feeding the passes, but Sterling and Jesus couldn't finish it. For me, it was a bit similar in that game, but obviously they won. But it was the same thing, like Sterling and Jesus just couldn't get it done, like, say, Aguero might have. If Aguero does get injured again, which it's not like, wouldn't be the most surprising thing in the world.
Could happen, yeah.
Would you say City are just not strong enough in a striker role then with Gabriel?
Yeah, I feel like they had to do a little bit of a small rebuild with the defence, and I think there's just one little bit of the puzzle left, and that is the striker. We knew it was coming. I mean, Guerrero's been brilliant for them for years. He's getting old. He's always had injuries, to be honest, even in his prime. But the fact that he's getting old now, his body's just going to keep making the injuries reoccur all the time. And even when he plays, you're going to see a difference that the injuries will make to him. He's going to be slower. His confidence is going to be less. I really do expect, if they do not go and buy a striker next year, I'll be so surprised. I cannot see them not buying a top striker next year. But this year, I think they've done well on a defence. I think that was the only criticism we could really give them in the previous years, that they were just looking way too open. Diaz has been a fantastic signing. He is solid. But I just think for this year, no, because I think I agree though, they are probably Bayern's, either them or PSG are Bayern's top opponents for this year. But I think they just need this out-and-out striker, because I've never thought Jesus was good enough, not at the top level to win the Champions League. You need a world-class striker. I mean, Bayern have got Lewandowski. They need a very good striker, and Jesus ain't just at that level.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I think he's still young, to be fair. He's got time to work on his game and improve it. But right now, it's just, I don't think he's there yet. I think that covers all the Champions League. So first legs are done in those. So we can move on to the Europa League now. Jack, there wasn't really much talked about in your game last night against Sociedad. They had a glimpse of hope maybe with the penalty, but that was one of the worst penalties I've seen.
Jesus.
So let's talk about the AC Milan game coming up now. How do you feel about that?
I say that's what happens when you try to do a Bruno in the Bruno arena. So that's why. But I mean, when I was watching the draw earlier, I thought to myself, we're gonna get Arsenal, Tottenham, or AC Milan, because under Ole, no matter what competition we have, we're in. The opponents are like we had the toughest run last season. This season we got Liverpool, West Ham, Everton, Leicester in some of the cups. So I expected it to be a tough run, and it's probably one of the toughest, if not the toughest, probably them and Spurs. We could have got which is the toughest. So I mean, if the draw was nice to us and it went the way we probably thought it would, we would have probably seen them or Tottenham in the final anyway, and still would have to beat them to win this competition. So doing it early probably just gives more confidence to the team. I feel like if we did get, sometimes I see this with Man United, if we got an easier team, it's like they would have feel like, we would have won a game before it even started. That mentality. So maybe it could be an advantage for us to get a team like AC Milan, just so the players are like, okay, we need to play to our best ability to win. If not, of what we're going to lose. For someone like, I think Tottenham got Dynamo Kiev, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
So if we had a team like that, if we had a team like that, then maybe the players would have thought, this is a kind of easy win. We can just stroll, but no. So it's a hard tie, but I'm confident.
Yeah, I mean, before we move on to the Milan side of things, I guess I got two questions. One is, how do you feel about Bruno starting and being captain yesterday? Was that a bit too much of a risk? And the second one is, do you prioritize Milan or the league? I don't know, he's frozen on my screen.
It's uni Wi-Fi, man.
Am I alright though?
Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah.
Alright, cool. Because he's in my room. The Wi-Fi's gone. We'll be back in 1 sec.
Well, while we were for Jack, then Ty, do you think Milan can cause a bit of not upset, but knocking out Milan, United's always a big deal. Zlatan coming back to Old Trafford as well. Do you think they can do something?
No, not really. I just think United would be too strong, to be honest. I know he's scored a lot of goals this season in Serie A, yeah, but I don't think Zlatan will cause Man United any problems. Just because, I don't think they'll give him that much space and stuff, because they're probably going to play. I reckon they've got top four. I reckon they're going to get out in the Premier League anyway. So they should just try and go for this trophy. If they play their first choice defense, I don't even know what it is, but if they play it, then I don't think Zlatan will do that much. And I just hope he goes out because of the way that this guy was acting towards Lukaku. And obviously, I love Lukaku. So, yeah. But I'll let Jack take it.
Go on, Jack.
Sorry about that. So, what I was saying about, it was a massive risk playing Bruno. And it's nice him captaining the side. I mean, everyone thinks what they can about Maguire and his leadership skills, and everyone knows Bruno is a massive leader on that team. So it was nice team captain, but it was a big risk. We were 4-0 up. I saw the team and I thought it's probably a little bit stronger than I wanted. However, he took off Wan-Bissaka, Fred, and Bruno at halftime. Brought on Rashford, which again I didn't agree with, just in case he got injured. Like I said earlier, a big game on the weekend, but I didn't really care what the score was, to be honest, because I knew we had the game won. So yeah, I mean, and what was the second question? Sorry.
Which would you prefer to prioritize? Is it Milan or the league?
I mean, I think we've got 2 weeks until this leg. Am I right?
So yeah, nothing
or
next
next week.
No, nothing next week. Then the week after you start.
So I think that's a couple games in the Prem, if I'm not mistaken. So we have to see what Chelsea result is, and I do think we'll have top four, but you never know with this season. Everyone's dropping points here and there. We could go on a bad run. Chelsea, Tottenham, Leicester, West Ham could go on a good run. We could drop a few places. You never know by the time the second leg comes. You never know. By the time the second leg comes, we could be fighting for top four, not comfortably in it. So we need to be careful. But obviously, AC Milan's a tough side still.
Is he frozen again?
Yeah, it's my
Their
face.
strongest striker. No, you're frozen.
Right,
I can
back, you're
Tyrese.
both back now.
But yeah, so and I know you asked me.
Right, yeah, they're
He's
both
not-
frozen.
He's like struggling with that
When I
Wi-Fi.
came back, when Tyrese was talking, I was hearing about.
You're struggling big time, bruv.
I can hear these lot still.
But they can't fucking hear you.
All right, you guys are both back now.
I was alright, she, bro.
Right. Can you hear me? Can you see me?
I can't see you, but I can hear you. No, it's the other way around. We can't see you, but we can hear you.
Oh, for fuck's sake. No?
yeah, good.
Okay, I turned on 4G. So just quickly, so I was listening to Tyrese what he was saying before when I came back, and I think it depends on who we play in defense. If we played Lindelof, then I think Zlatan can cause us some problems because we all know Lindelof's a liability in the air. But if we can play Bailly, which I think we will because we normally play in the Europa League, then I think Zlatan won't cause us too many problems.
Yeah, fair enough. Tom, it was a good win for you guys again in the second leg against Wolfsberger. I know obviously you talked about Dele Alli and Garfel last week on the last episode, how you wanted to kick on. They both did that. Great goal for Ali as well. Before we go to the next round, how did you find yesterday's performance? Or Wednesday's even?
On Wednesday, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, easy. I was so happy, first of all, that Gareth Bale wasn't playing because that means, well, it should mean he starts on the weekend. But I also want Dele Alli to play on the weekend as well because, yeah, he got like, what did he get? Like 2 assists and 1 amazing goal. He just dictates every game in the Europa League. I know it's not hard, but then he can only do what he can in the game he's been given. So just give him a chance. Not everyone does that, to be fair. Harry Winks is still fucking shit in Europa League. So, yeah, I think we need to start them two. Easy performance. Brilliant goal by Dele Bale. Took his goal fantastically. He couldn't got any more in the corner. And we should have another easy tie, to be honest. I thought it was a brilliant draw for us. So, yeah, so a bit more positive when it comes to Europa League, to be honest.
Yeah, so I did some research on Zagreb because I don't follow them. Sure, that's not a surprise. But they're in the same group as Wolfsberger, finished top of it, conceded 1 goal in the whole of the group stage phase, and they are top of their league right now. But you're not worried at all?
Yeah. No, not really. I mean, what's the point of? I don't see what there's anything to be worried about. We should be going through them. If we don't beat them, then there's serious fucking problems. So, no, I'm not worried at all. Because especially since it's not like whereas Man United are weighing up both competitions, we literally got an Carabao Cup to play for and Europa League. There is nothing in this league to play for. We cannot get in this top 4 anymore. That is done. So whereas we know our main objective is to win this Europa League or Carabao Cup, we should 100% win it no matter what because that is our main priority now. I think it, to be honest, I feel like it was anyway. I feel like around the club, it was just this big sort of thing that this is a very good chance to get a trophy and it's a European trophy. I feel like we, as a fan base, we were confident that we're probably more confident of doing well in the Europa League compared to Premier League, to be honest, at the start of the season. So I think we 100% should be running through them, definitely winning, to be honest, especially since it's our main priority.
Yeah, that's fair enough. That was good for the Arsenal game. We didn't make it easy for ourselves, I think it's fair to say. Saka and Aubameyang, to be fair, turned up when we needed them to. Saka assists in the first goal, great finish from Aubameyang. And then Ceballos had a bit of a shit moment, or 2 shit moments. The free kick is just a silly foul, like near the edge of the box. Nothing Leno could do about the free kick. It was brilliant. And then obviously the header from Ceballos trying to get to Leno was just dreadful. Fair enough, Rafa took advantage of it as well. So apart from that, I don't really think they threatened us at all. they don't have any clear-cut chances apart from that. So we just handed them 2 goals, and I'm happy that we did win, not only because obviously we were in the next round, but I feel like if we didn't, the media headline this morning is Dani Ceballos faces abuse on social media instantly. And then like that, Ceballos has been good in the last few games as well. He's been getting the ball forward, he's been linking up well with Odegaard. And even the game yesterday, apart from those 2 big mistakes, obviously, he wasn't really bad. So I'm happy that it's not like ruined his season or something, because for a lone player, he tries very hard for us, which is good for us as well. But yeah, I mean, I think it's the complete opposite of the first leg already. Aubameyang didn't score in the first leg, missed like 2 or 3 good chances, but this time he had 3 chances and technically scored all 3, albeit 1 was offside. So it's good to see that he's being that clutch player that we saw last season that he was for us. But Saka at 19 years old shouldn't be carrying us like this, because it's crazy how good he's been for us. I think since the start of last season's 10 goals, 18 assists, which is crazy for a 19-year-old. So what Olympiacos obviously last season knocked us out. Still hurts. But yeah, I feel like if they didn't knock us out last season, I'd be confident with it. Or like Olympiacos, we can get through that. But just because of last season, and they didn't beat us technically last season, we just lost our away goals. But I don't know. I'm not confident, shall we say, just because of last season. That's all it is, really.
You'll beat him this time, easy. Like I said, it was only away goals last time, innit?
Yeah.
Didn't Aubameyang miss a sitter in like the 90th minute as well? So
yeah, he scored a bicycle kick.
Anywhere.
Scored a nice bicycle kick. Then in the 120th minute, he just missed a sitter. But yeah, I feel like that's just Arsenal as well in general, just bowling when it matters the most in European competitions. But yeah, I mean, Socrates coming back as well. I don't know if we might have to play both games in Greece as well, because that'll be our home game as well, like it was yesterday. So I think that's just an even bigger advantage to them. But yeah, I feel like for most teams, it's an easy tie. For us, not so much. Other than that, Leicester were knocked out against Slavia Prague 2-0 last night, so 2-0 aggregate as well. Slavia Prague now face Rangers in their next leg as well. To beat Antwerp 9-5 on aggregate. So it's interesting. A team who scored 9 goals against a team who didn't concede any. Things definitely one to watch out for. But I feel like Leicester, I felt bad for them a bit because they did have some injuries. They had James Justin out, they had Madison out, they had who was it? I want to say Ndidi. They had like 4 or 5 first team players out when I checked, and then Jose Perez as well, who's more of a bench player, I guess. But I don't know, I feel like it was a bit unfair or not unfair, but unlucky for them that they had the injuries before this big game, especially Madison, who's been on great form for them. So I think that was a big miss for them. Other than that, the other ties are Ajax versus Young Boys. Young Boys knocked out Leverkusen. Ajax knocked out Lille, who are top of Ligue 1 as well. So again, proving how shit that league is. Dynamo Kiev against Villarreal. I wanted Villarreal, I can't lie, just for Emery to come back. But that hasn't happened, unfortunately.
Emery would knock you out.
Nah, he would hold it.
He would. Trust me, he would. I know he would.
He would hold it. But Roma versus Shakhtar. Then Granada, who knocked out Napoli against Molde, which is Ollie's old team, obviously. But I think that is it for European football. You've got a couple of minutes left, so Jack and Ty, United, Chelsea, what are your predictions?
Go on, Ty, you go first. As your home team.
Well, depends how. Right. United are going to be the first team, that are really going to threaten us, right? Because you look at, obviously, I know Pogba and Cavani are out, but then I reckon, I was watching a video earlier, I was watching a preview, and they said that Ollie could try and match Tuchel with a back 5, and he could play, because I don't know, apparently United got loads of, a few injuries, so apparently it'll probably be Martial and Rashford up top, apparently, together, and then Bruno behind, which is worrying me a little bit, because if you saw it, depends who plays in the middle of the back three, because Thiago Silva's out, so they could do us on the counter attack, because obviously because Man United soaking up pressure and then just playing on the counter attack, that suits them. And obviously Ollie's beat Tuchel a few times, so I'm a little bit worried. I'm not going to lie, but hopefully we can get the job done because we need that win. And obviously West Ham are playing Man City as well, so they're probably going to lose that. So we need to try and take advantage. So hopefully we win, but depends what Chelsea turns up and if we take our chances.
I was thinking about that as well, Tari. So sometimes Ollie likes to match managers. However, this season he's hardly done it. So I'm not expecting to go 3 at the back, 5 at the back, whatever you want to call it, on Sunday. I expect him to keep it at 4 at the back. De Gea will come back in. Wan-Bissaka, Harry Maguire, Lindelof, then Luke Shaw. I don't know what he'll do in midfield because he kept Matic quite old now, but he kept Matic on for the full 90 minutes against Real Sociedad and took Fred off. So I'm not sure. Fred will play, but I'm not sure. I don't know. Maybe if that's a hint that McTominay might be back. He was injured, but especially with Matic being 30, however old he is, playing 90 minutes on the Thursday, then again on the Sunday, more likely to keep Fred on. So I'm not sure on there. But then, depending on Dan James came off, but depending how bad he might start because he played very well in the last couple of games with Rashford on the left, Dan James on the right, Bruno, and then Martial. But if not, then it will be Greenwood, Bruno, Rashford, Martial.
I hope Dan James ain't playing against Alonso, man. That pace is just...
Yeah, and with your attacking fullbacks, I think Ollie's quite good at exploiting that down the wings, to be fair. So depending, and I think Chelsea will have the majority of the ball. I know they have had, obviously, against those so-called weaker teams, but I think we'll be more than happy to let them have the ball between their defenders and centre backs. Centre midfielders, and just said try and break us down. You ain't going to get in behind Shaw and Wan-Bissaka with your fullback, so try and break us down in midfield, and then we'll break early. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, West Ham City as well. So West Ham likely drop points there, but you never know. But then Arsenal, Leicester as well. So they're probably going to beat us. So it's even more pressure on both of you to keep up with them.
Before I think it's time to talk. I think it's time we sit down and just say what's going on. I think we should say